home team in today's ball game. Other teams in this South Metro tournament in this particular bracket, besides the Rams and the Red Devils, are Griffin and Mount Zion. And, of course, as we mentioned, they have already played a game, with Griffin winning that one by about 15 runs. And Newton County will get a chance to play Griffin coming up in just a couple of weeks, and they'll play Mount Zion twice this next week. We had a team drop out of this bracket of the South Metro tournament. Southside dropped out of this bracket, so we have Mount Zion that will be playing twice next week, once on Tuesday and once on Saturday. And, of course, you can hear both those games live here on WGFS. Meanwhile, Michael Deganian stepping back in. He's a right-handed batter, closed stance. Stands back toward the back of the batter's box. Coffin gets the sign, the stretch, 2-0 pitch, high and tight, almost hit him, and a cripple count, 3 balls and no strikes to Michael Deganian. Loganville batter gets the sign from his third base coach as Lockridge takes his lead off second base. Here's the stretch, 3-0 pitch is high, ball 4. So the Rams are in early trouble here, first and second, nobody out. And the meat of the Loganville order coming up. We'll have John Jordan, the Loganville first baseman. Another right-handed batter strolls to the plate. It's exciting to be at the old ballpark again, but it's late February, and folks, that means it's cold and windy, so if you come out, be sure you're bundled up. This section of the South Metro tournament for the next week and a half will be played here at Riverside Park. You're welcome to come out and watch any of these games that the Rams are involved in the South Metro, and any other games of the South Metro tournament here at Riverside Park. John Jordan steps in. Runners take the lead off first and second. The stretch by Coffin, and the first pitch to Jordan. Fakes the bunt, pulls it back. They've got a runner trapped off first base. The throw down there, tag is late, and the runner is back safely. The Rams have Brent Johnson over there. Johnson hasn't seen much varsity action at first base. May have been a factor in that tag as he brought it down late. Runner at first base, Michael Deganian, took quite a lead off there. Rams almost had him picked off, but they'll have to deal with him back there on a count of 1-0 on John Jordan. Catcher Brian Moon flashes the sign to his pitcher. Newton County playing in at the corners. At the edge of the grass at third base is Sam Allen. The stretch by Coffin in the pitch. It's bunted down the third base line. Allen charging hard, going to pick it up. His only play is to first. Out there, but the two runners advance. And John Jordan with the sacrifice goes 5-3 for those of you keeping score at home. Loganville has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, and Matt Jenkins will be the hitter. By the looks of him, Matt Jenkins certainly looks like he has home run power, and he's batting 4th in that Loganville order, which would further serve to prove that point. Right-handed batter getting the signs from his Loganville coach, as the Red Devils have 2nd and 3rd and 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Still no score. Can Coffin get out of his early damage here in the first? Here's the wind and the pitch. Off speed, it's high and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners again take their lead. Here comes the sign to Coffin. Looks at the runner at third base, goes into the wind and the pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound off of Coffin's right arm. Runner trying to score. He is going to be out from here to you as Jason Lockridge, an ill-fated play, trying to score on a ground ball, a one-hopper that bounced off of Lance Coffin's right arm. Hopefully he's okay there. But the play goes 1-2 at home. He is out there on the fielder's choice. Matt Jenkins reaches, and Michael Deganian moves over to third base. We'll have 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. And on a play like that, fortunate for the Rams, as Lockridge trying to catch the Rams asleep, but Lance Coffin very alert out there on the mound, threw home, got him out by a good 20 feet, and has a shot to get out of the damage now with Alan Yancey, left fielders. Don't think we've seen a left-hander yet in this Loganville order. We've got 2 outs, top half of the first inning. Deganian at third base and Jenkins at first. Ram defense set to go. Here's the sign, the stretch. And the first pitch to Yancey will instead go to first. And Jenkins is back there safely. Fairly good crowd out here for this game between Loganville and Newton County. Come on by to Riverside Park, just a short drive up the road at Newton County High School. South Metro Tournament, exciting Newton County Ram High School baseball. Stretch by Coffin and the pitch. Off speed, swung on and missed. and the count is 0-1. Cawthon looking good, throwing a lot of off-speed stuff so far. Had Yancey way out in front on that pitch. Lance goes into a stretch, and the 0-1 pitch. Curveball caught the outside corner, 0-2. Yancey swung and missed at the first pitch, which was an off-speed outside. Took the second one, an off-speed outside. We'll see what happens on the 0-2 pitch. The stretch and the pitch, fastball outside, grounded down the first base line, but foul. Count remains 0-2. So Cawthon stays with the same location, but a different speed. Yancey just barely getting a piece of it. No balls and 2 strikes. Loganville started this inning with a double by Jason Lockridge and a walk to Michael Deganey, and looked like they were going to do some damage. But the Rams are going to have a chance to get out of this one unscathed. Runners take their leads from first and third. Now time is called. Coming up in the bottom half of the first inning, we'll set you up with the Rams batting order, and we'll introduce you to some of the Ram folks for 1994. Some new faces here. Folks that a lot of people around here don't know about, but will make a big difference this year. Here's the stretch from Cawthon, and the pitch. Swung on and missed. A curveball again. Moon applies the tag, and Yancey goes down on strikes. For Loganville in the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. At the end of half an inning of play, no score from Riverside Park. We'll be back right after this break. You're listening to Newton County Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430.
Did you know that termites cause more damage to homes annually than fires, floods, and natural disasters combined? To protect your home from termites and other pests, call Cleary Exterminating, 786-4937. They'll send them packing, termites and beetles, fleas, rats and mice, roaches, and ants. Commercial or residential, we can help get rid of what bugs you. Call Cleary Exterminating on Highway 278 in Covington, 786-4937. At Cleary Exterminating, we make mouse calls.
It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Come see what a dollar can buy. A 4-ounce bottle of Elmer's Wood Glue, a tube of Instant Crazy Glue, chore gloves, Schultz's Liquid Plant Food, 300-count Mr. Coffee filters, a tub of hand cleaner, 10-pack package of Big Stick pens, or a package of Ever-Ready batteries, CD, 9-volt, or AA, all just $1 each. It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
To see these Ram bats, they're going to be a potent offense in 1994. We'll set you up with the order now. Matthew Hires leads off and plays shortstop. Ryan Allen, the second baseman, will bat second. Lance Shannon playing right field will bat third. Brian Moon moves up to the cleanup spot this year. He'll be catching. And batting in the number 5 spot is the third baseman, Sam Allen. He'll be followed by center fielder Chris Acox. Designated hitter Richie Cleary, only a sophomore, but played at the varsity level last year. He'll be batting 7th. Brent Johnson plays first base and bats 8th. And Cale Curtis in left field will bat 9th. Setting up your defense for the Loganville Red Devils around the infield, Matt Jenkins plays third base, Wesley Smith is at short, Shane Hendricks at second, and John Jordan at first. Around the outfield, Alan Yancey in left, Jason Lockridge in center, and Michael Deganian in right. John Craven is the catcher, and on the mound for Loganville in this game is Jake Gwynn. Gwynn is a right-handed pitcher, and the throw goes down to second base, and he is ready to go, as are the Loganville Red Devils. Set to begin the bottom half of the first inning. Switch hitter Matthew Hires bats lefty here against the right-hander Gwynn. Jake Gwynn's name, not spelled like Tony Gwynn now, spelled G-U-I-N-N, sort of like Nancy Gwynn, the librarian in Rockdale County. Has a conversation with his catcher, John Craven. Now they're set to go, and Hires is about set to step in. Matthew Hires in the leadoff spot, probably for the majority of this year. Hires, a senior, will be looked at by a lot of college and professional scouts. Of course, as you know, his brother is playing with the San Diego Padres. Timmy Hires taken there in the Rule 5 draft this past December. We'll have a lot to talk about that this year. First pitch to Matthew is low and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Coaching down the first baseline for the Newton County Rams is Coach Al Bell, and down the third baseline, 7th-year head coach Charlie Beverly. 1-0 pitch is low, 2 balls and no strikes to Matthew Hires. Hires an excellent eye at the plate, as he will need in that leadoff spot. He's got a lot of speed as well. Ideal man you want in that top spot on the order. Good contact, very few strikeouts, lots of walks. 2-0 pitch just misses the outside corner. 3 balls and no strikes to Matt Hires. So the Rams looking to get off to a good start here with Hires, Allen, and Shannon. Gwynn into the wind, 3-0 pitch over his head back to the screen. Matthew Hires heads down to first, running down there because the ball got away from the catcher. Hires thought he may have a shot at second, but Craven was able to retrieve the ball in time. Hires will be at first with nobody out, and stepping to the plate is Ryan Allen. Allen also a left-handed batter. Batted in the lower parts of the order for most of last year, but moved up to the second spot on the order here in 1994. Stretched by Gwynn, Hires going with the first pitch and swung on and missed, and Hires will be in safely without a throw. Pitch was a little low and got away from John Craven, the Loganville catcher, so Hires in there with a stolen base, utilizing that speed to his advantage and the Rams' advantage, and the Rams have a runner in scoring position, a prime scoring opportunity, nobody out. Gwynn with the stretch, looks at the runner at second, and here's the pitch. Off speed, high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Allen. Another left-handed batter, Lance Shannon, is on deck, so while Loganville is loaded up with those right-handed bats, Newton County going to have a ton of left-handed bats this year. Pitch is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-2. You might remember that from last year, as the Rams had Anthony Green, Jeff Key, plenty of left-handed bats in that order. This one will be a little more balanced than the 93 order, but still plenty of left-handers. Very unusual for a high school team. Stretch from Gwynn, looks at Hires at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and Allen is down on strikes. Went after a pitch outside. Little upset with himself over that. But Allen is down on strikes, and with 1 down, here's Shannon playing right field for the Rams. He's a senior this year. Going to be expected to take a lot of the power load for the Rams this year, as the Rams lost Jeff Key to graduation last year, lost a lot of their home run total there. First pitch is in the dirt and outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Lance Shannon. Wind has been pretty crisp out here today. As it stands, it's blowing out to right field. That helps those left-handed bats, but the wind changes direction depending on what time you look at the flagpole. Stretch and the pitch called strike outside corner, 1-1. Newton County supposed to play Oconee County this past Wednesday. They were rained out. Mother Nature decided that the Rams would start the season at home after all. That Oconee County game made up as part of a doubleheader a few Saturdays from now. Hires going, and time is called here. That's going to be a balk against Jake Gwynn, as Matthew Hires with some heads-up base running was taken off for third base before Gwynn had ever let the ball go. Gwynn saw him and balked apparently as he was stepping off to check on Hires, so a balk called here on Jake Gwynn. That'll put Matthew Hires at third base, and rightfully so. The Loganville head coach is going to come out and call him his pitcher down. Gwynn probably not happy about a situation like that, because the Rams now have a runner at third, 1 out. Sacrifice fly could score the run here. Lance Shannon has the power for the sacrifice fly, or better yet, for the home run, and the wind right now blowing very stiffly to right field. Could be to his advantage if he sees one that he likes. Here's the stretch and the pitch in the dirt by the catcher. Here comes Hires. He'll score standing up as the ball bounces 45 feet down the first base line in foul territory, and Matthew Hires will score. We'll check and see on the scoring on that. Probably going to be a pass ball. Could be a wild pitch, though, as the pitch was down in the dirt, but it looked like Craven had a shot to block that one. So Hires scores there to make it 1-0 Rams, and the Rams get a run without the benefit of a base hit. Rams have always been good at playing that type of baseball. Lots of stealing and advancing on the other team's mistakes. There's a line drive into left field. Left fielder Alan Yancey makes the catch. Shannon is down for out number 2. Here's the catcher, Brian Moon, getting a chance in the number 4 spot. Moon is a junior, catching for the Rams today. You'll see him behind the plate most of the year this year. Up now with 2 outs and nobody on base. Matthew Hires walked and stole second, advanced to third on the balk from Jake Gwynn, and then scored on the wild pitch. So without a base hit, the Rams are on top, 1-0. Gwynn goes into the wind, and his first pitch, high and outside, 1 ball, no strikes to Brian Moon. The sign from Craven, here comes the pitch, low and outside, and 1 bounce back to the screen, a ball and a strike. So Gwynn's having some trouble with his control here early, and the Rams have been able to take advantage of it. Jumping out to this early 1-run lead. Sam Allen is on deck. Here's the wind and the pitch inside. Did it hit it? No, but it came very close. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Just a couple inches away from hitting Brian Moon, so a 3-0 count. We'll see if he gets the take sign here, 3-0. He does, and it's high and outside, ball 4. So Moon is on here with 2 outs. It'll bring up Sam Allen. Allen, a new face on this Newton County Rams team, came in from South Carolina, transfer student. Has a brother named Luke Allen you'll hear a little bit about as the season goes along. Luke playing some games at the varsity level this year. Sam Allen is a junior, starting third baseman, going to try to fill the shoes of Nakia Davis, who the Rams lost to graduation this past year. Moon takes his lead off first base. Here's the stretch from Gwynn, and the pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Loganville infield amazingly shallow here against Sam Allen, right-handed batter. Standing in now, the stretch from Gwynn and the pitch, swung on and missed, had a mighty cut at it, but came up short. And the throwback gets away from the pitcher, but the shortstop Wesley Smith over behind him. Moon unable to advance, and the count is 1-1. Dimensions here at Riverside Park, 320 to the left field foul pole, 360 to dead center field, and 310 to right. Pitch is past the catcher and back to the screen. Another pitch in the dirt. And on this wild pitch, Brian Moon gets a chance to move up to second base and a runner in scoring position where a single to the outfield could give the Rams a 2-0 lead. Two balls and a strike to Sam Allen. The sign from John Craven, the stretch and the pitch. High and inside, 3-1. Rams are just going to sit on this guy until he throws some strikes. He's already walked 2 here, and he's got a 3-1 count on Sam Allen. Rams are going to have a busy week next week. We'll talk more about that as the game moves along. Here comes the stretch from Gwynn and the pitch. Called strike, inside corner, 3-2. Little bit of lip there from the Newton County crowd. They thought that pitch was inside. Full count here to Sam Allen, 3-2. The stretch by Gwynn and the payoff pitch swung on, popped up, foul territory, first base side. First baseman, catcher both calling for it. It falls just outside the fence and rolls a couple of feet out of play, and the count remains 3-2. And in the chase for the foul ball, young man ended up face first as he was trying to go after that particular foul ball. Upset with himself. He'll get one later on this game. A valiant effort by the young man for that foul ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes here the count. Sam Allen staying alive. Moon takes his lead off of second base, representing the Rams' second potential run. They've already scored 1 in this inning. Stretch from Gwynn and the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So for the 3rd time in this inning, a Newton County Ram has received a free pass, and they'll get a chance to capitalize with center fielder Chris Acox. Acox, a left-handed batter. Didn't see much action in the outfield last year. Saw him primarily as a DH, had a chance to play some in the middle infield as well, but he's a versatile player. Will be used in the outfield a little more this year. First pitch low and inside to Acox, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0, the Rams lead here in the bottom half of the first inning. It's the South Metro Tournament from Riverside Park. Newton County High School, drop on by. Plenty of baseball left today. Runners take their leads, and here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside again, 2-0. Before the game, the national anthem was sung by Mary Edwards. Name you might recognize if you listen to some Braves baseball. Mary Edwards does some singing for the Atlanta Braves. Pitch is swung on, grounded, 3 hops down the first baseline. John Jordan steps on the bag, and that'll be out number 3. But the Rams pick up a run. They do so on no hits. There were 3 walks and 2 runners left on base at the end of a full inning of play. Your score, Newton County High School 1, Loganville High School 0. You're listening to Newton County Rams baseball on WGFS AM 1430. Back after this.
Hayes Furniture Company of Covington has something for everyone. From household furniture, new and used, to yard and patio sets, all kinds of accessories, lamps, rugs, mirrors, and much, much more. Hayes Furniture has free finds with free delivery and setups anywhere. Hayes Furniture features this week solid wood bunk bed sets with mattresses, stackable in spindle and bookcase styles at $369.95. A-frame style with double bed on bottom, single on top at $469.95. Hayes Furniture has all sizes of mattresses and brand names of Southern Cross, Lady Americana, and American bedding. Twin sets $129.95, full sets $169.95, queen sets $239.95, and king sets extra firm $449.95. Come in today and check out these and other great buys with friendly, dependable service. That's at Hayes Furniture Company, located at 6166 Washington Street, owned and operated by Glenn Hayes. 786-3737, 786-3737.
Back here at the top half of the second inning at Riverside Park, Newton County High School. No, this is not Don Imus. This is Kevin Holden joining you for your second inning, where Loganville will send up Jake Gwynn, John Craven, and Shane Hendricks, spots 6, 7, and 8 in the Red Devil order. They'll send him up against Lance Coffin, who had a little trouble in the first inning, but was able to get out of that one. He only gave up 1 hit, walked a batter, had another batter reach on a fielder's choice. Gwynn checks the third base coach for a sign. He's a right-handed batter stepping in against the righty Lance Coffin. Coffin checks Moon for the sign, goes into the wind. First pitch here of the second inning. Inside with a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Ram defense against Gwynn, especially deep at short and second, as Hires and Allen both playing out there on the fringe of the outfield grass. Here's the sign from Moon, the wind. 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. Rams have a lead, 1-0. Matthew Hires in the bottom half of the first had the chance to score on a wild pitch from Jake Gwynn. Now Gwynn trying to do some damage for the Red Devils, takes another pitch outside, 3-0. Coffin looking to throw a strike here. Here's the wind and the crippled pitch. Called strike, outside corner, 3-1. Wind picks up again, blowing very stiffly out to right field various times throughout the game. Wind and the pitch outside, ball 4. So only 1 hit so far for both sides combined in this game, but a total of 5 walks, as Jake Gwynn has reached first base here with nobody out, and John Craven will be the hitter. Craven, the Loganville catcher, has had a rough day of his own behind the plate. In the first inning, had several balls skip by him and back to the screen. He's looking for a better game as it goes along. Runner going with the pitch. It's high and inside. Moon's throw goes sailing into center field, where Chris Acox picks it up and drops it again, but he's got it now. And Jake Gwynn steals second base, but Brian Moon's throw way off line there. On the throw down to second base, he's looking for that bullet, that accurate throw down there. Didn't quite get on top of the throw, ended up in center field. Loganville with a runner in scoring position, nobody out, and the Rams once again have another jam that they've got to get out of. Fortunately for them, they've got spots 7, 8, and 9 in the Loganville order, but you can never take anything for granted early in the season. Sign from Brian Moon, the stretch by Coffin, who checks the runner at second, Jake Gwynn. Fakes back there, but there's no one back to cover. Gwynn goes back to second base. Craven is a right-handed batter, batting with an extremely close stance. That right foot almost pointed toward the second baseman. Stretched by Coffin in the pitch, swung on and drilled down the third base line, but foul. That's hard to believe that a man with a close stance like that can pull the ball down the third base line. Hate to see what would happen if he opened up his stance. After John Craven, Loganville will send up Shane Hendricks, followed by Wesley Smith, second baseman and shortstop, respectively, for the Red Devils. Trying to dent the scoreboard, Newton County fortunate enough to do so in the bottom half of the first. Sam Allen again playing a very shallow third base, just a step off the fringe in the infield grass. And again, time is called. I believe the count is 1-1 here to John Craven. Craven gets his practice swing, set to go. Rams looking to shut down the rally here in the second. Stretch and the pitch. High and inside, 2-1. Good Saturday afternoon for baseball if we can warm it up about 15 or 20 degrees. Clear skies out here, sun shining through very brightly. Now if spring would just do its part, we'll be in great shape. 2-1 pitch, swung on, drilled down the third base line again, and foul. John Craven has that close batting stance pointing toward the second baseman, gets way out in front of the ball, able to pull it twice now, foul down that third base line. Obviously that close stance is an attempt at a corrective measure. And the Rams will probably take that into account their next time up and play him a lot more to pull. Stretch and the pitch, high and inside. Count on Craven now is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, top half of the second inning. Loganville has a runner in scoring position. Jake Gwynn walked to lead off the inning, stole second. Stretched by Lance Coffin. The payoff pitch swung on, fouled down the third base line again. This time, a pop fly that falls out of play up the hill down the third base line. Riverside Park is sort of built at the bottom of the hill that runs up that third base line. Pretty good for foul balls that are hit up there. They just sort of roll back there to the fence down that third base line. Stretched by Coffin. And again, we have the payoff pitch. Swung on and drilled into left center field. It'll fall in for a base hit. Rounding third will be Jake Gwynn. He gets the green light. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's a little high, but he is out. Matthew Hires had that throw in a little bit high, but if you've seen Matthew Hires play shortstop, there is nobody around who can get the ball in and out of his glove faster than Matthew Hires. He has worked on that a lot and has a tremendous release. Got that ball out of his glove as quickly as possible. One of the best I've seen at doing that. Guns down the runner, so you can count it up. 7-6-2 on the putout. On the throw, John Craven takes second base. So with 1 out now and a runner in scoring position, Shane Hendricks will be the batter. Hendricks, another righty. We're about to have a clean sweep here because it looks like Wesley Smith on the on-deck circle is also a right-handed batter. That would mean 9 righties in the Loganville order. Swing and a miss at the first pitch by Coffin, 0-1. Well, we've already had some thrilling baseball here. We're only in the top half of the second inning of the first game of the year. Bodes well for the rest of the year for Newton County. Here's the stretch and the pitch, called strike, inside corner, 0-2. Coffin beginning to settle down now after giving up 2 hits and 2 walks in his first inning and a third. You can imagine that this is long. Stretch and the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Good curveball by Lance Coffin, and down on strikes goes Shane Hendricks. Wesley Smith will be the batter. Number 9 batter for Loganville, the shortstop. They've got a fairly large senior class in comparison to previous years. Last year, the Rams only had 3 seniors. This year, much larger senior class than they've had the past couple of years. Taking his lead off first base is Brent Johnson. The stretch by Gwynn, checks the runner, here's the pitch, swung on, drilled into left field for a base hit. Ball gets away from the left fielder, but Johnson will have to hold up at second base. Alan Yancey had some trouble with the ball out there in left field, but a single by Cale Curtis, back-to-back singles for Newton County, put runners at first and second here with one out. How about that? Newton County, the first 7 batters in their order, go hitless, and then the numbers 8 and 9 hitters both single. Just as Joaquin Andujar said, there's one thing about the game of baseball that's for sure. You never know. Johnson takes his lead off second base with Cale Curtis off of first. Here's Matthew Hires, the switch hitter. Of course, batting lefty against the right-handed pitcher, Gwynn, who goes into his stretch, and his first pitch to Hires is outside, way outside, 1-0. Matthew Hires and Ryan Allen here getting a chance to drive in some runs. One out, runners at first and second, and those two batters have a chance to put some RBI totals on the board. The stretch and the pitch swung on, grounded on one hop, fair ball to the first baseman who fires to second for one. Back to first, not in time there as two people were standing on first base. Matthew Hires coming back toward the dugout here, so might have been a double play there. Actually, now we see the runners headed back to their respective positions, and they're going to call it a foul ball. That's what's going on. So after all that, Brent Johnson goes back to second. Cale Curtis goes back to first. Matthew Hires goes back to the plate, and we'll start it all over again. That ball was right on that foul line, and the umpire called it a foul ball just as first baseman John Jordan picked it up. Jordan holds Curtis at first base. Johnson getting a fair-sized lead over at second, being held there by Wesley Smith, the shortstop. Stretched by Gwynn in the pitch, catches the inside corner with the fastball 1-2. Hires walked his first time up and scored on a wild pitch. Only run of this game so far. Ram defense playing Matthew Hires straight away, slightly to pull in center field. Stretched by Gwynn in the pitch, swung on, driven into right center field, and will fall for a base hit. Runner rounds third. That's Brent Johnson. As the throw gets away from the cutoff man, he will score. Hires will have to hold it first as the shortstop picks it up, Wesley Smith. A one-run scores on the single, so back-to-back-to-back singles here by Newton County. Cale Curtis moves over to third. 2-0 Newton County. And with first and third and one out, Ryan Allen will be the hitter. Time is called. Loganville head coach goes out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. Gwynn probably a little shaken up. Didn't expect to give up singles to the bottom part of the Newton County order, but that's the good thing about the Newton County order this year, a tremendous amount of depth. And from 1 through 9, a lot of batters here can beat you. There's also some new faces here for this Newton County Ram team, including third baseman Sam Allen. You'll hear a lot from him this year. Transfer student from South Carolina. Two 2-0 your score in favor of the Newton County Rams. As we mentioned, bottom half of the second inning. Rams have runners at the corners, and Ryan Allen set to stand in, a prime scoring opportunity for Newton County here in the second. Ryan Allen, junior second down. All of the Loganville infielders in there on that conference, but now they're all set to go back to their respective positions. Runners take their leads off first and third. Here comes the stretch by Gwynn, and the first pitch runner from first is going. The throw to second will be on two hops down there, and Cale Curtis fakes going. Now the throw back to third, and he'll be back there in time. But the throw down to second base, not in time, as it was on two hops, and Matthew Hires gets his second stolen base of the night. You can imagine that Matthew Hires is going to rack up those stolen base totals this year. The wind kicks up in a serious fashion over to right field, and that's good because the Rams have a lefty up and a lefty on deck. Pitch is in the dirt. Blocked very well by John Craven. Count is 2-0. So the Rams have two in scoring position now. Matthew Hires at second, Cale Curtis at third with one out. That's Charlie Beverly baseball. You don't ever see the Rams play station-to-station baseball. Coach Beverly likes a lot of stealing and a lot of hitting and running, other situations like that, things to keep the game interesting and keep the other team on their toes. Called strike outside corner, 2-1. In a first and third situation with one out, a lot of coaches may not send that runner from first because the meat of the order is coming up. Coach Beverly wants to send that runner, though, get another shot at a man in scoring position. There's a pitch low and outside, 3-1. And it pays off for him here, second and third with one out. And a 3-1 count. Ryan Allen can expect a nice one here. Stretch from Gwynn, and the pitch is high, ball 4. So the Rams will have the bags juiced here with one away, and Lance Shannon will be the hitter. So far in an inning and a third, Jake Gwynn has walked 4 batters and given up 3 base hits. He's had a rocky time out there. Now the Rams hope to capitalize with one of their main power hitters this year, Lance Shannon. Shannon, a left-handed batter, standing in. First pitch to him is high, 1 ball, no strikes. South Metro Tournament, a good chance for Newton County to get some games in against opponents that won't count for sub-region play at least, but do get them some very good experience. 1-0 pitch called strike outside corner, a ball and a strike. And the way Griffin put a pasting on Mount Zion last night or 2 nights ago, it'll be interesting to see how that team plays against Newton County. Here's a swing and a foul ball down the third baseline, 1-2. Loganville has a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. As Jake Gwynn is in some trouble here in the second inning. Curtis off third, Hires off second, Ryan Allen off first. The pitch is swung and lined right back up the middle off the pitcher's right arm for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the second one around third. He will score. And on the throw, Lance Shannon going into second base. As 2 runs score, a couple of RBIs there for Lance Shannon. And the Rams are now up 4-0. Single for Shannon takes second on the throw. 2 runs score. So 5 straight runners have reached base here for Newton County. That makes Lance Shannon the team leader in RBIs so far this year. He's got 2 off of that hit alone. Brian Moon's the batter. Another left-hander, cleanup batter for Newton County. First pitch is in the dirt, 1-0. They do have a 10-run rule here in the South Metro Tournament, but I do not believe it kicks in until the 5th inning. Loganville has their infield in all the way around. Pitch is a called strike. We won't say outside corner. We'll just say somewhere near there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aces all across the scoreboard. 1-1. There's 1 out. Newton County with the bases loaded. Pitch is swung on and fouled down the third baseline, and the count goes to 1-2. Correction, the Rams have runners at second and third. Loganville with their infield all the way in. All 4 of those infielders right on the fringe of that infield grass. Ryan Allen is the runner at third, and Lance Shannon is the runner at second. Moon standing back in, gets his practice, cuts the 1-2 pitches inside, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes, the count to Brian Moon, as you can hear the crowd down there going crazy. Folks here ready to watch the South Metro Tournament in action. Signed by Craven, stretch 2-2 pitch, swung on down the third base line, and it will fall foul. About halfway up that hill down the third base line, and the count remains 2-2. After Brian Moon, we'll see Sam Allen. He walked his first time up, as did Moon. Loganville pitcher continues to warm up in the bullpen. We'll check on a name for that pitcher down there, but down the first base line, Loganville does have a pitcher warming up as Jake Gwynn, in a situation where there's second and third and 1 out. He's already given up 3 runs in this inning, and there's still only 1 out. Umpire asked for some new baseballs, has a couple of new ones now, and with a 2-2 count, Brian Moon, the junior, will step back in. Allen off third and Shannon off second as Craven gives the sign to his pitcher. Gwynn with the stretch, and time is now called. So we'll wait again for the 2-2 pitch here to Brian Moon. Switch hitting catcher stands back in. Here's the stretch. And the pitch is inside, so a full count now against Moon, 3-2. Newton County JV team is in action against Rockdale County. At last check, that score was 2-0 in the third inning. That's been about an hour since we've gotten that last check, so that game's moved along, but we'll check on that one. There's a swing and a ground ball through the drawn-in infield for a base hit. One runner scores. Here comes another runner around third. Strong throw is cut off by the pitcher, and 2 runs will score on the single by Brian Moon. Brian Moon just reached out and punched it through the drawn-in infield. One of the disadvantages of bringing your infield in is you leave those infielders susceptible to a lot of those ground balls. Brian Moon hit that ball right where the shortstop would have been if the infield hadn't been drawn in. Perfectly hit on the part of Brian Moon and the Newton County Rams, who score another 2 runs and lead it 6-0. We're only in the bottom half of the second. We're going to get a pinch runner for Brian Moon now. Remember, high school rules state that he can re-enter the game, and you'll probably see that happen. So we'll check on the pinch runner here, as it's Michael Doss, number 1 for Newton County. The junior going to pinch run here for Brian Moon. Doss will be at first base with 1 out. Sam Allen will be the batter with the runner at first and 1 out. Allen, as we mentioned, walked his first time up, right-handed batter, batting number 5 in this Newton County order. Stretch from Gwynn, checks first, here's the pitch, swung on, grounded down the third baseline. Third baseman rolls right under his glove, and that'll be an error. On the third baseman, Matt Jenkins, with one hand, not how you're taught to do it, but he was charging against a weakly hit ground ball. Ball skipped right under his glove, and on the E5, Rams have 2 runners on here, with still only 1 out. Here's the 9th man to bat in this inning, Chris Acox. He ended the first inning by grounding out to the first baseman. Acox, another left-handed batter, and the wind blowing ever so stiffly out to right field. If you're a left-handed batter, you'd ask for something like this during the sub-region schedule. Stretch and the pitch, just off the outside corner, a ball and no strikes. Sometime last Tuesday, the first out of this inning occurred when Richie Cleary grounded out to the third baseman. Since then, Brent Johnson singled, Cale Curtis singled, Matthew Hires singled to drive in a run, Ryan Allen walked, Lance Shannon singled to drive in 2 runs, Brian Moon singled, and Sam Allen reached on an error. 1-0 pitch is a ball, so 2 balls and no strikes on Chris Acox. And Cleary, who started this inning with the ground out, is on deck. Runners take their leads off first and second. Stretch and the pitch is outside, 3-0. The pitcher who was warming up down the first baseline for Loganville is ready, and you got to feel that if you see much more here in terms of wildness, you may see that new pitcher in the game. Michael Doss is at second base, and Sam Allen is at first after reaching on the air. Pitch is high and outside, ball 4. Once again, Newton County with the bases loaded here, still only 1 out, and the 10th man to bat in this bottom half of the second inning will be Richie Cleary. Have a feeling he won't see Jake Gwynn, though, as Loganville head coach coming out to visit the mound. And we're going to see a new pitcher, pitching change for the Loganville Red Devils. We'll be back after this 60-second break. You're listening to Newton County Ram Baseball here on WGFS, AM 1430. We'll be right back.
Your authorized agent for Pactel Cellular is East Metro Cellular. With Oki, NEC, Fujitsu, Motorola, Uniden, and AudioVox cellular phones, East Metro Cellular is your complete communications headquarters. Motorola pagers starting at just $8.25 per month for service. Several cellular phone rate plans. Two-way radios for most all applications. Come talk to one of our trained salespeople about the advantages of cellular. That's East Metro Cellular, 7115 Highway 278 in Covington. Or call us at 786-6796. That's 786-6796. At East Metro Cellular, we'll help you reach your calling.
More poultry per pound of feed at market and faster starts in egg production on the farm. FRM medicated chick starter gets them off on the right foot with vitamin and mineral rich feeds to keep them healthy. Use FRM grower feeds and FRM layer feeds and concentrates to promote rapid maturity and faster starts in egg production on the farm. FRM poultry feeds available now at your FRM dealer.
For FRM poultry feed plus much more, go by the Farm and Garden Depot, formerly Gold Kist on Emory Street, 787-3870.
And we are back at Riverside Park, Newton County High School. Ronnie Nash is the new pitcher for the Loganville Red Devils. We are computing stats as we speak for Jake Gwynn, who really didn't have that great of an outing. He had some trouble here in both of them especially. And we've got the totals for him coming up for you in just a minute. In his inning in the third, he gave up so far 6 runs. Both runners on base, all 3 runners on base are his responsibility. He gave up 5 hits, 5 walks, and he struck out 1. So Ronnie Nash will be the new pitcher for Loganville. He'll be facing Richie Cleary, who started this inning with a ground out to the third baseman. So Ronnie Nash, another right-handed pitcher, is in for Loganville. Lots of right-handers on this squad. There's a swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-1. If that first fastball is any indication, Nash throws quite a bit harder than Jake Gwynn, and the Rams will have to make their adjustments accordingly. Cleary stands back in there, right-handed batter, as we mentioned, only a sophomore. Got a chance to see quite a bit of varsity action last year as the pitch is a called strike. 0-2. Michael Doss on third base, Sam Allen on second, Chris Acox on first. Still only 1 out. The Rams have had 8 straight people reach base. The stretch and the pitch outside, 1-2. The Rams have 6 runs on 5 hits. Loganville, no runs on 2 hits. Nash with a count of 1-2 against Richie Cleary. Craven squats and gives the sign to his pitcher as the Rams take their lead. Loganville infield about halfway in all the way around. Here's the stretch. The 1-2 pitch swung on, grounded to the shortstop, Wesley Smith. He'll go to second. Got it out there, but that's all they'll get, and another run scores. Acox has retired 6-4, but on the fielder's choice, Michael Doss scores to make it 7-0, Newton County. So Newton County having a tremendous second inning. They've already scored 6 runs here to make it 7-0. They still have runners at the corners, 2 outs, and the batter will be Brent Johnson. Johnson singled and scored his last time up. Right-handed batter standing in. Stretched by Nash, and the first pitch, high and inside. Runner heads for second. Throw there was to the shortstop, who was playing about 10 or 15 feet to the right and in. That was a play designed to see if the third base runner was going to go, and the catcher threw straightway to that shortstop. But no running there from Sam Allen over at third base. He's staying put. So second and third for Newton County after the stolen base by Richie Cleary. And the Rams have 2 more runners in scoring position. They've been facing him here in the second inning. Johnson standing back in. Stretched by Nash. 1-0 pitch swung on, grounded in the hole between third and short. There's another base hit. They'll hold the runner up at third. One run does score on the single by Brent Johnson, who holds a very dubious distinction now. He's singled for the second time in one inning. Rams are now up 8-0. And again, runners at first and third. 2 outs here. Cale Curtis is the hitter. Curtis singled earlier this inning. It's hard to believe that when this inning began, the Rams did not have a single hit. Hits by the number 8 and 9 spots in the order proved the undoing for the Loganville Red Devils. They've already given up 7 runs here. 8-0 Newton County, bottom half of the second inning. Richie Cleary takes his lead off third and Brent Johnson off of first. 2 outs as the senior left fielder gets set to take his cuts. Here's the stretch by Nash and the pitch low and inside by Craven. And Johnson will be able to move down to second base, but Cleary will have to stay put at third. We'll call it a pass ball. The official score says Brent Johnson will be at second base. 2 more runners in scoring position for Newton County, 2 outs. So far in this inning, the Rams have 6 hits, all of them singles. In addition, they have a couple of walks. There was an error by the third baseman, a fielder's choice, and a partridge in a pear tree. Cale Curtis set to stand in. I'm sorry, I have to do that sometimes. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swung on and popped foul down the third baseline and will bounce about 3/4 of the way up that hill. A ball and a strike to count. At least I didn't make a pun. Puns are the lowest form of humor. We all know that. Richie Cleary takes his lead off third. Brent Johnson off of second. 1-1 the count to Cale Curtis. Craven with the sign, Nash the stretch and the pitch in the dirt by the catcher. Back to the screen. Here comes a runner home. He'll score standing up. 9-0 Newton County. We'll call it a wild pitch on Ronnie Nash as Richie Cleary scores and Johnson will get a chance to move up to third. 8th run in this inning for the Rams, 9th in the game. So we didn't jinx them earlier this inning when we had said that the skunk rule here was a 10-run rule, and of course it only takes effect after 5 innings of play. I thought we might have jinxed him there. Actually, I guess we helped him out. Cale Curtis is the 12th man to bat here in the second inning. The stretch by Nash as Johnson takes his lead off third. Here's the pitch. Swung on, drilled up the middle, base hit. Brent Johnson stumbles home, and it's 10-0 Newton County. Cale Curtis, joining Brent Johnson, is having the dubious distinction of having 2 hits in the same inning. So far in this inning for Newton County, 7 hits, all of them singles. They put 9 runs across. We got double digits on the scoreboard. Still in the bottom half of the second inning. Here's Matthew Hires. Cale Curtis takes his lead off of first base. Hires the switch hitter, batting left-handed. Singled and walked in his 2 plate appearances so far, and he scored 2 runs. Pitch is low and inside from Nash. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Wonder if the pitcher and catcher didn't get crossed up there because Craven was set up way outside and the pitch came back in low and inside. Craven had to almost sit down to try to catch that ball that was low and inside. So they'll try it again with a count of 1-0. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Hires standing in, set to go. Pitch is high and inside, 2-0. As we mentioned, Matthew Hires with perhaps the best eye of anybody on this Newton County Ram team. He's going to take lots of walks this year and steal lots of bases, and I don't think you hear any complaints from anybody about that. Maybe the Rams' opponents, but they don't count. Here's the stretch by Nash as Curtis takes his lead off and the pitch. High and outside. 3-0 the count to Matthew Hires. On deck is Ryan Allen, who has walked and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. He scored a run earlier this inning. Hires set to go. Again, the stretch from Nash. Here comes the 3-0 pitch, called strike, inside corner. 3-1. Ram fans a little unhappy with the call, but up 10-0, they're probably not going to say a whole lot about that one. 3-1 the count to Matthew Hires. The senior shortstop stands in. Here comes the stretch, the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, popped foul down the third baseline. and up that world-famous hill, 3-2. Now we've got the scoreboard full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Newton County is up 10-0. Bottom half of the second inning. Rams have scored 9 runs this inning. This is the bottom half of the second inning. Curtis takes his lead. The stretch. Full count pitch. Swung on, grounded, base hit by the first baseman who was holding the runner. Cale Curtis will round second and head for third. Single by Matthew Hires. His second of this inning. This distinction is not so dubious anymore. First and third for Newton County with 2 outs. And Ryan Allen will be the hitter. Runners at first and third for Newton County with 2 outs. Leading 10-0, and Allen with an RBI opportunity here. The stretch from Ronnie Nash. Runner going with the pitch, and there's no throw down to second base, so stealing the base standing up for the 3rd time in this game is Matthew Hires. Not often you can say that you've come to the plate 3 times and stolen 3 bases in only 2 innings. So Matthew Hires doing a little stat padding there as it's 10-0, and runners at second and third with 2 outs. The stretch by Nash. And the pitch is just a little bit high, 2-0. So things just falling apart for Loganville, just looking to stop the bleeding here in the bottom half of the second inning. Lance Shannon is on deck. Craven gives the sign. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, low and outside, 3-0. Loganville pitchers have already walked 5 batters in this game. And in addition, the Rams have picked up 8 base hits. All of them coming here in the second inning. Runners take their leads. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Ryan Allen reaches base for the 2nd time in this game. The time is called again as the Loganville head coach goes out to visit his pitcher. You wonder what he's going to tell him in this situation. Wonder if we may see a new pitcher for Loganville. I don't believe I saw anybody warming up down there. But the Loganville head coach goes out and calls a conference, and while he does, we'll talk about the other stuff that's going on. As we had mentioned, there are 4 sites this year for the South Metro Tournament. It had been 3. They've added a 4th site, so they've added some new teams. And the finals will be held on March the 12th from the winners of each of those 4 sites. And we will keep you posted on everything that goes on in the South Metro Tournament. Of course, Newton County is one of the hosts for that tournament, and so there are some other teams playing here, notably Griffin and Mount Zion, the other 2 teams here in the Newton County side. Those 2 teams played earlier with Griffin winning that game 16-1. You see 2 favorites establishing themselves here among the 4 teams that are in this tournament, so it's going to be really interesting when Newton County gets a chance to meet Griffin. And we'll tell you when that is in just a minute. There's a line drive down the right field line. It will fall in for a base hit, and it gets by the right fielder. 2 runs will score. Here comes Allen around third base. Throw is late. He will score. Shannon scrambling back to second base with a double. It's his 2nd hit of this inning. It scores 3 runs, and folks, it's 13-0 in favor of the Newton County Rams. The double from Lance Shannon clears the bases, and the Rams have a 13-run lead. Brian Moon will be reinserted into the game. He was lifted earlier this inning for a pinch runner. Michael Doss scored on a fielder's choice. But Moon is now re-entered to hit later on here in this 2nd inning. Left-handed batter takes the first pitch, low and inside, 1-0. Shannon is down at second base, 2 outs, and the Rams have put up 12 runs. Any questions about the potency of this Ram offense have pretty much been answered. Here's a swing and a foul ball back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Rams have a very high foul screen here. We might have had a shot at that ball if that had been, 4 or 5 feet lower possibly. We're up in the 2nd story of the press box here, so in order for us to catch a foul ball, it's going to have to be a very high pop fly. And we've got an overhang just above the booth that we are in right now, like Skip Carey has. See if I can't catch a foul ball sometime this year. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to Brian Moon. 2 outs, 13-0 Rams, your score. We are in the bottom half of the second inning, folks. Newton County has had a tremendous bottom of the second. County 13, Loganville nothing. You're listening to exciting and winning Newton County Rams baseball here on WGFS AM 1430. We will be right back.
It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Come see what a dollar can buy. A honeycomb sponge, 4 square yards of all-purpose cheesecloth, a package of 26-gallon trash bags, a package of 13-gallon tall kitchen can bags, a quart of paint thinner, a 10 by 20-foot drop cover, a trim line edger, or a razor scraper with blades, all just $1 each. It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
Did you know that termites cause more damage to homes annually than fires, floods, and to protect your home from termites and other pests, call Cleary Exterminating, 786-4937. They'll send them packing, termites and beetles, fleas, rats and mice, roaches, and ants. Commercial or residential, we can help get rid of what bugs you. Call Cleary Exterminating on Highway 278 in Covington, 786-4937. At Cleary Exterminating, we make mouse calls.
Are you planning a special get-together with family and friends? Then do it at Pippin's Barbecue. We'll provide the food and the fun for just a few people or a large group. Or if the party's at your place, let us provide the catering while you enjoy the party. Call us ahead of time or stop by Pippin's Barbecue at both our locations.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're gonna love what you eat.
Pippin's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
We are back at Riverside Park, Newton County High School. School's going fine as it's 13-0 Newton County. We head to the top half of the third inning. There's a new pitcher for the Newton County Rams, Matt Taylor, as Lance Coffin has been lifted after 2 innings of work. Lance Coffin in his 2 innings gave up no runs on 2 hits. He walked 3 batters and struck out 3. Coming up for Loganville here in the top half of the third inning, Michael Deganian, John Jordan, and Matt Jenkins. It's the meat of the Loganville order, and they have quite a bit of work to do here against Newton County. So we'll get a chance to see Matt Taylor on the mound. We haven't seen much of him here at Riverside Park. He played quite a bit of pitcher in summer ball in the other leagues since last baseball season here at Newton County High School, and they say that Matt Taylor has quite a good fastball and a lot of other good stuff, too. We'll see about that as it goes along. Matt Taylor's first pitch, fastball outside, 1-0. Taylor is going to be one of those folks who's expected to chip in here as the Rams going to have lots of pitchers. There's a fastball that just misses the outside corner, we think, 2-0. Rams lost their top starting pitcher, Anthony Green, to graduation this past year. So Rams will have lots of folks on the mound. 2-0 pitch swung and foul back to the screen, 2-1. But talking to Coach Beverly, he seems confident in his pitching staff. He likes the depth that he has on the pitcher's mound this year. And we'll see how that goes for him. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung, dribbled off the end of the bat into right field, and in the sun it gets away from Lance Shannon. Runner heads for second. Here comes the throw down there. And he is out. What a play from Matthew Hires and from Lance Shannon as well. That ball was hit sort of off the end of the bat like a pull shot, right up into right field. Lance Shannon lost it in the sun, started to slide, and the ball bounced by him. Saw that the runner was headed for second base, and Deganian tried to take that extra base there. Shannon gunned him down, and Matthew Hires heads-up play as he ran about 5 feet to the first base side of second base, got that throw, and tagged the runner as he was coming in. It's a great play from Shannon and from Hires, cut down 9-6 after the single, and with 1 out here in the third. Here's John Jordan, first baseman, takes the first pitch from Taylor for a strike, 0-1. Newton County radio celebrity Trey Wilson with us. You've heard Trey on a various amount of Newton County sports broadcasts over the past 12 months. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Matt Taylor, with a tremendous curveball there. It was an overhand curveball. That off-speed pitch got Jordan off balance, 0-2 the count. So Newton County has looked mighty impressive so far in this game. They scored 1 in the first and 12 in the second. Moon gives the sign to his pitcher, and now time is called. 0-2 is the count to John Jordan. Next game for the Newton County Rams is Tuesday at 4 p.m. against Mount Zion right here at Riverside Park. Taylor goes into the wind. His pitch is outside, 1-2. That Mount Zion game is part of the South Metro Tournament. One of the teams in this bracket withdrew, so twice next week, once on Tuesday and once on Saturday. Here's the wind from Taylor. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Matt Taylor seems to be doing very well at mixing up his fastball and his off-speed pitches. That's especially good here at the high school level. If you can throw strikes, you'll keep those hitters off balance. Working quickly, throwing strikes, and changing speeds. Ray Miller's theory to pitching. Matt Taylor putting it to good use here. The wind and the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and the ball gets away from Brian Moon, but he'll throw it down to first base for out number 2. So Jordan down on strikes and 2-3 on the putout. 2 down for Matt Jenkins. Jenkins reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Matt Jenkins, a right-handed batter. Brian Moon giving the sign to Matt Taylor, right-handed pitcher. Taylor is a senior. Set to go against Matt Jenkins with 2 down here in the third. Here's the wind and the first pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Jenkins looks like he's got some home run power from that spot. There's a swing and a ground ball to second baseman Ryan Allen. Has some trouble with it, has to hurry the throw. Johnson diving for it. He is out. Great play from Brent Johnson. Ryan Allen had to rush the throw. Booted it at first, but picked it up, and Johnson had to make a diving play, but kept that toe of the foot just on the bag as he was diving down that right field line for the ball. In the scorebooks, it'll look like a 4-3, but it was really a lot more exciting than that, and Loganville goes down here in the top half of the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left on base. We go to the bottom half of the third. Newton County 13, Loganville nothing. Back after this break, Ram Baseball on WGFS.
T&L Motors of Covington is announcing that their grand opening is going on now. T&L Motors has cars, trucks, and vans arriving daily with on-the-spot financing available for those with little or no credit. T&L Motors is located on Highway 278 next door to T&L Mufflers, which offers the lowest priced exhaust system in town. Come in and compare our prices starting at $59.95 with custom jobs a specialty. That's T&L Motors and T&L Mufflers, located on Highway 278 across from Henry's Fast Loop. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. The phone number is 787-5286. That's 787-5286.
FRM cattle supplement blocks have your nutritional needs licked. FRM self-limiting weatherproof cattle supplement blocks provide the protein, energy, and additional vitamins and minerals your herd needs. It doesn't melt in the sun, dissolve in the rain, or blow away in the wind. It just keeps supplying profit-building nutrition for your herd day after day. FRM cattle supplement blocks available now at your FRM dealer.
For professional and personal attention, see the staff at the Farm and Garden Depot on Emory Street, 787-3870.
And we are back from Riverside Park, Newton County High School. The Newton County Rams enjoying a nice, comfortable 13-0 lead on the Loganville Red Devils as we head to the bottom half of the third inning. Newton County will send to the plate in this third inning Sam Allen, Chris Acox, and Richie Cleary. 5, 6, and 7 spots in the Newton County order. And they had a tremendous bottom of the second, as we mentioned before. 12 runs on 9 hits so far, or 11 runs on 9 hits, make that 12, as the Rams now have 13 in this game. 13 runs on 9 hits. Loganville in the past inning, no runs on 1 hit. That means for the game, Loganville with no runs, and they have 3 hits. Amazingly, out of those 9 base hits by the Rams, only 1 has been for extra bases. That was Lance Shannon back in that second inning. Sam Allen has walked and reached on an error. He scored in that second inning, as did everybody on the Rams team except Chris Acox. Matthew High Johnson, Cale Curtis all scored twice in that second inning. One of the most prolific offensive innings the Rams have had here in quite a while. Prolific, that's a 50-cent word, I think. Allen, right-handed batter, standing in. He's a junior. We'll see mostly action at third base this year. Here's the wind from Nash and the pitch. It's high, 1 ball and no strikes. Next week, as we mentioned, the Rams have 2 games against Mount Zion. There's one other special game coming up. We'll mention that in just a moment. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Took a mighty cut at it, but came up short. 1 ball and 1 strike. Headed for the downs on that one, but Sam Allen came up short. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rams will take on LaGrange High School on Thursday. They'll be playing at Gordon College. That'll be a very exciting game for all people involved, as the 1-1 pitch is low, 2-1. Rams versus LaGrange down in Barnesville have a chance to play on that Gordon College campus. And we'll give you all the live action on WGFS. 2-1 pitch, swung, grounded down the third base line, foul ball, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes, the count to Sam Allen. Chris Acox on deck. And he'll be followed by Richie Cleary. Coming up for Newton County, as we mentioned before, the LaGrange game plus 2 games against Mount Zion. Then the big game against Griffin, Tuesday, March 8th at 4 o'clock p.m. That'll be here at Riverside Park, a game you definitely want to see. You want to try to make plans to be here for that game, Rams versus Griffin. Wind by Nash and the pitch, fouled back this way, and behind us, behind the press box and the concession stand, and the fans will scramble for that one as the count is now 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sam Allen, nobody out. We're in the bottom half of the third inning. Rams have a 13-0 lead. The catcher, John Craven, gives the sign to his pitcher, Ronnie Nash, pitching from the windup with nobody on base. Here comes the wind and the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul back this way, missed us by about 3 feet, just up over our heads. That was a line drive foul ball that just barely cleared that top part of the fence behind home plate. Missed us by just a couple of feet, went up over our heads and out of play. Count is 2-2. Wind by Nash, the 2-2 pitch, low and outside, 3-2. A lot of activity here at Riverside Park. Good crowd despite the cold weather. Cold weather sort of settled in quickly on us. A couple of days ago, it was in the 60s and in the 70s. As a matter of fact, yesterday we were in the upper 60s here in Covington. Wind in the 3-2 pitch, swung on, grounded, down the third base line. Third baseman couldn't get the glove down, and Sam Allen reaches base. We'll check on the official scoring for that one. Third baseman Matt Jenkins was moving to his left there. Sort of a tough play, but we'll see what the official score gives there as Sam Allen reaches first. Allen reached first last inning on an error by the third baseman. Chris Acox will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and remains the only player in this Ram lineup that has not scored a run so far. But we're only in the bottom of the third, so he'll have a couple of more chances, hopefully, to do that. Acox swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Sam Allen down at first base for Newton County. We don't know the scouting report on his speed County Ram varsity uniform. We'll check and see as the games move along. Acox, a left-handed batter, now calls time as Nash was taking too much time there. Loganville defense around the infield still the same with Jenkins at third, Smith at short, Hendricks at second, and Jordan at first. Runner takes his lead. Throw goes over to first. It's just a lob toss, and the runner is back standing up. Just a throw to let Sam Allen know that Nash realizes he's over there. as he takes his lead off first base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Stretch by Nash and the pitch, swung on and missed. 0-2. Acox was just on top of that breaking ball, as the count on him is 0-2. On deck is Richie Cleary. It looks like we may have a pinch hitter for him, as I see Matt Taylor taking some swings on the on-deck circle. There's a called strike on the outside corner. That'll put Acox down on strikes. Second strikeout for Loganville pitching in this game, and first for Ronnie Nash. It'll bring up Matt Taylor, who will pinch hit for Richie Cleary. Cleary was the DH for Lance Coffin, and as you know, Matt Taylor came in to pitch here in the top half of the third inning. And he'll be hitting for himself now, so the DH rule is nullified here for Newton County for the rest of the game. First pitch to Taylor is low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. In Matt Taylor's first at bat as a varsity player last year, he hit a home run over the right center field fence. Would you like to see that again? The wind is blowing very, very, very sharply to right field. It's bending that flagpole just a little bit. But those flags are flapping in the breeze as it's heading out to right field. Here's the sign, the stretch and the pitch, swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Newton County has a runner at first. He reached first on an error by Matt Jenkins. It's Jenkins' second of the game. Both of them against the same hitter. Taylor is a right-handed batter, set to go. Craven gives the sign to his pitcher. Defense straight up here against Taylor. Stretch by Nash and the 1-1 pitch. Low and inside, 2-1. Down the first base line for Newton County, Coach Al Bell, and down the third base line, Coach Charlie Beverly. Allen takes his lead off first. Here's the 2-1 pitch, high, 3-1. So Nash having some trouble with control. Loganville throughout this game has had a lot of trouble with their control. In the first inning, they walked 3 people. Also walked 3 in the second. So in danger of walking their 7th batter at only 2 1/3 innings. Stretch, the 3-1 pitch is high, and there is walk number 7. As Matt Taylor gets the free pass first and second, Newton County with only 1 out for Brent Johnson. Brent Johnson is 2 for 2 in 1994. He'd like to keep that batting average. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, a couple of runs scored. Stretch by Nash and the pitch. Swung on, a drill down the third base line, but foul. Count is 0-1. Another RBI opportunity. The Rams have not had a hit yet in this inning. They scored a run in the first without the benefit of a hit. Right now the Rams have Sam Allen at second base and Matt Taylor at first. Stretch by Nash and the pitch is high. A ball and a strike. Allen taking a fairly conservative lead down at second base as Shane Hendricks holds him on. Stretch by Nash, the 1-1 pitch. Almost hit Johnson inside. Johnson had to turn toward the catcher to get out of the way of that pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom half of the third inning, Newton County scored 1 in the first and 12 in the second. Loganville has yet to dent that scoreboard. 13-0 Newton County. Time is called, and Coach Charlie Beverly goes down to talk to Brent Johnson. Our chance to remind you that on Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, you can hear the Saturday Morning Super Trivia Spectacular. The man himself, Bill Dolan, bringing you the special trivia questions and your chance to win some prizes there as well. It is the Saturday Morning Super Trivia Spectacular. Now, I say this because Bill Dolan is going to be joining us on a couple of games this year doing some Newton County Ram baseball, including a little bit of play-by-play later on in the year. Just check with us, and we'll check and see how all of that goes. We don't want to announce any dates at this time, but do be listening for Bill Dolan on Newton County Ram baseball as we move along in 1994. Sam Allen at second, Matt Taylor at first. Rams looking to put some more up on the scoreboard. Junior first baseman Brent Johnson. He's a right-handed batter. Set to go. Here's the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch. Called strike, inside corner, 2-2. You would think with the score like it is that this game would move a little bit faster than it has been moving. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Johnson. Runners take their leads. Here comes that pitch, swung on and fouled back just to the right of us. It will fall out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're checking on the JV game. They've been playing Rockdale County. Out of the last check, it was in the 3rd inning. The score is 2-0. I know that's changed because that report is an old report. We'll see how the JV team did as soon as we can get a report on that. 2-2 pitch, called strike 3, outside corner. So Johnson down on strike, second strikeout in this inning for Nash. Both of the men caught looking, Chris Acox and Brent Johnson, and with 2 outs, here's Cale Curtis. Curtis starting in left field for Newton County this year. Newton County adds an unusual look to their uniforms this year. All the players have painted their cleats or spray painted their cleats black, so they have all black cleats. The stretch by Nash. Checks the runner in the pitch, swung on and missed by Curtis. Fake throw down to first base. Matt Taylor scrambles back there. We have a report on the JV game. A 6-1 victory over the Rockdale Bulldogs. So the JV team with a successful year. Newton County varsity team looking to do the same for Loganville. That victory was over Salem High School. It was played at Rockdale, but the victory was over Salem. First and second with 2 outs. The stretch by Nash and the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside, 1-1. Curtis, senior left fielder, set to stand in as the runners take their leads. Craven gives the sign. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. Coming up in the top half of the 4th inning for Loganville High School, they'll have Alan Yancey, Jake Gwynn, and John Craven, spots 5, 6, and 7 in that Loganville Red Devil order. Runners take the leads off first and second. Pitches high and inside, 3-1 to Cale Curtis. Wish we could get a pitch count on the Loganville pitchers for this game. They've thrown a tremendous number of pitches. Lots of walks. They've already had 7 walks here, and we're only in the bottom of the 3rd. Newton County looks to add to the 13-run lead. They've got the number 9 hitter, Cale Curtis, up, and he takes a pitch high, ball 4. Yet another free pass given to the Newton County Rams, who now have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Two walks in the inning and 8 in the game for Loganville, and time is called. Loganville head coach, been a busy man making trips back and forth to the mound. It looks like we'll get a pitching change. And while they do, we'll take this time out. You're listening to Newton County Ram Baseball here on WGFS AM 1430. It's 13-0 Newton County as Loganville makes a pitching change in the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be right back.
Pump up your profits with FRM's swine feeding program. Use FRM Early Wean Medicated Pig Starter Pellets, FRM Baby Pig Starter. Then at 5 weeks, switch to FRM Pig Popper Pellets. Finish them out with FRM Pig and Hog Feed Pellets and FRM Hog Finisher Pellets. All medicated and available now at your FRM dealer.
For your livestock needs, see the FRM dealer in Covington, the Farm and Garden Depot on Emory Street, 787-3870.
It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware. Come see what a dollar can buy. A 4-ounce bottle of Elmer's Wood Glue, a tube of Instant Crazy Glue, chore gloves, Schultz's Liquid Plant Food, 300 count Mr. Coffee filters, a tub of hand cleaner, 10-pack package of Big Stick pens, or a package of Ever-Ready batteries, C, D, 9-volt, or AA, all just $1 each. It's Dollar Days at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
I was at Pippin's Barbecue the other day having some pork barbecue, and it was great. But then I looked over at the next table, and they were having smoked chicken, so I ordered that too. And then I found out about the Brunswick stew, so I ordered that. And then I figured, what the heck, why not just order the whole Pippin's Barbecue menu? But I didn't, because I just didn't have the room on the table.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're gonna love what you eat.
Pippin's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
Park, Newton County High School. Loganville has changed pitchers here, and we're in the bottom half of the third inning. And we close the book now on Ronnie Nash, who pitched an inning and a third, faced 12 hitters, 5 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And the runners on base, all 3 of them are his responsibility, so the book may not necessarily be closed on him just yet. The batter will be Matthew Hires. Hires has had a perfect day, 2 for 2 with a walk. Stretch in the first pitch to him, called strike outside corner, 0-1. Sam Allen is at third base, Matthew Taylor at second. Make that Matt Taylor at second, and Cale Curtis at first, Matthew Hires at the plate. Pitch is low and inside, a ball and a strike. Hires stays left-handed against the new Loganville pitcher, who is a righty. 2-out situation. Rams have the bases loaded. The wind has died down. It was headed very sharply out to right field, but it's died down for the most part. Brad Owens, the pitcher for Loganville, gets the sign from his catcher. Loganville righty about set to go as Matthew stands in. Stretch in. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and popped up just behind us. And out of play, 1-2. Hires checks his third base coach Charlie Beverly for the sign. Ryan Allen is on deck. 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Chris Acox has got to feel a little sorry for himself right now. He's still the only player in this Ram team who hasn't scored a run, but he'll get at least one more shot for that, probably next inning. Here's a swing at a high fly ball down the right field line. Bounces just foul by a foot or two. Bounces once and goes out of play down that right field line. Might have had a shot to clear the bases there again, given another foot or two closer to the line. But it bounces foul, and just a noisy strike as the count is 1-2 on Matthew Hires. A very noisy strike. Rams started this inning when Sam Allen reached first on an error by the third baseman. Chris Acox struck out looking. Matt Taylor walked. Brent Johnson struck out looking. Cale Curtis walked. Now Hires with runners at first, second, and third. Swings and lines one at the second baseman, Shane Hendricks, who makes the catch for the third out. So Hendricks with a good heads-up reflex play there for out number 3. We've completed 3 innings here at Riverside Park. Your score, Newton County 13, Loganville nothing. We'll be back after this break. Ram Baseball on WGFS AM 1430.
Hayes Furniture Company of Covington has something for everyone. From household furniture, new and used, to yard and patio sets. All kinds of accessories, lamps, rugs, mirrors, and much, much more. Hayes Furniture has free financing on all 12-month accounts with free delivery and setups anywhere. Hayes Furniture features this week solid wood bunk bed sets with mattresses, stackable in spindle and bookcase styles at $369.95. A-frame style with double bed on bottom, single on top at $469.95. Hayes Furniture has all sizes of mattresses and brand names of Southern Cross, Lady Americana, and American bedding. Twin sets $129.95, full sets $169.95, queen sets $239.95, and king sets extra firm $449.95. Come in today and check out these and other great buys with friendly, dependable service. That's at Hayes Furniture Company, located at 6166 Washington Street, owned and operated by Glenn Hayes.
So quickly, we'll run down your new Ram defense as we head to the top half of the fifth inning. Brent Johnson will be in left, Chris Acox in center, Lance Shannon in right. Brian Moon now at third base, Matthew Hires at short, Ryan Allen at second, Lance Coffin at first. Your catcher is Sam Allen, and the new pitcher, Cale Curtis. Richie Cleary pitched 1 inning, faced 3 batters, gave up 1 single. That was about it. Got a 1-6-3 double play. Got out of the trouble there in the 4th inning, pitching the 1 shutout inning. Here in the 5th inning, Loganville sends to the plate the 8, 9, and 1 spots in their order. Shane Hendricks, Wesley Smith, and Jason Hendricks struck out in his first plate appearance in the 2nd inning. I want to thank the fine folks at the concession stand downstairs sending up another Sprite for us up here. Those folks have got some fine stuff down there. If you're here at Riverside Park, drop on by, see what they've got to offer you there at the concession stand. And when you do come to Riverside Park, if you're not here now, you should check them out. First pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes from Cale Curtis. Curtis, a hard-throwing left-hander. His main trouble over the past couple of years has been throwing strikes. If he can throw strikes, tough to hit. 1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. Curtis has that good live fastball. Hendricks, a right-handed batter, standing in. Allen gives the sign. Here's the stretch by Curtis, and the 2-0 pitch, low, 3-0. Curtis, a senior this year, and looking for a spot on this Ram pitching staff, wants to be a consistent pitcher for the Rams this year. As we mentioned, he's got to get the ball over the plate, hitting those corners, if he wants to be effective in 94. Stretch and the 3-0 pitch. Ball 4 low, and on 4 pitches, Shane Hendricks receiving the free pass. It'll bring up Wesley Smith. Smith walked his first time up. That was back in the 2nd inning when Lance Coffin was still on the mound. Since then, we've seen 3 other pitchers. Lance Coffin pitched the first 2, followed by Matt Taylor, then Richie Cleary, and now Cale Curtis. Hendricks taking his lead off of first, and the first pitch is a called strike, outside corner, 0-1. So it's been a 4-pitcher night for Newton County. Shane Hendricks taking his lead off of first base. Pitcher number 4, Cale Curtis, throwing over to first. Close play, but the runner's back there safely. Smith walked back in the 2nd inning. Loganville has 4 hits in this game. One by Jason Lockridge in the first, John Craven in the 2nd, Michael DeGanian in the 3rd, and Alan Yancey this past inning. Pitch is outside with the curveball, 1-1. Curtis also has a very, very good curveball. Shane Hendricks again taking his lead off of first base after drawing the free pass on 4 pitches. Lockridge is on deck. Here's the stretch by Curtis. The lefty delivers. It's a called strike outside corner. 1-2. Newton County a 14-0 lead as we're in the top half of the 5th inning. Nobody out. Loganville with a runner at first base. Throw goes over to first, and a runner is back there safely. Right-handed batter Wesley Smith is standing in. Allen gives the sign to his pitcher, Cale Curtis, with the stretch, the 1-2. Past the catcher and back to the screen. Runner heads for second. Sam Allen has a cannon arm. Didn't get a chance to use it this time, but can't wait to see that man's arm. Sam Allen has got quite an arm behind the plate. So a runner at second here after the wild pitch. And Wesley Smith has a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stretched by Curtis, the 2-2 pitch, high and outside, 3-2. After Smith, Loganville moves back to the top of their order. Lockridge, DeGanian, and Jordan. So far, they've yet to dent the scoreboard. They've been held scoreless, rather, through 4 innings. They've got a runner at scoring position, though, with nobody out here in the 5th. Curtis's pitch is outside. That's ball 4. So Cale Curtis again having trouble with his control. He's had lots of trouble with his control over the past couple of years. When he's been able to throw strikes, he's been very, very effective. Got a start last year against Clark Central, pitching a couple innings there. Another time when walks hurt him. First and second, nobody out for Jason Lockridge. Swing and a miss at a fastball low. No balls and 1 strike to Lockridge. Lockridge doubled back in the first inning, struck out looking in the second. 1 pitch is on the way. Here it is. It's high, 1-1. Newton County Rams look to win this game and move on to their game against Mount Zion. Mount Zion lost to Griffin 16-1 here over the past couple of days, and Newton County will see Mount Zion twice this next week. There's a swing and a miss. Mighty cut at a fastball, but he came up shy. A ball and 2 strikes. The team here from Griffin already beginning to warm up for the next game. Should be a 5 o'clock start. Stretch for Curtis on the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And down on strikes goes Jason Lockridge. Lockridge swinging at that outside pitch. Took a feeble cut at the 1-2. Goes down for out number 1. Umpire pulls out the lineup card as a pinch hitter strolls to the plate for Michael DeGanny, and we'll check and see who that pinch hitter is. So we've got a pinch hitter here for Loganville in the top half of the 5th inning. Right-handed batter wearing number 17, still checking on the name. John Jordan is on deck. Loganville with a situation first and second with 1 out. Rams are up 14 runs, so Loganville, you got to figure, not playing with much heart right now. Curtis with the stretch and the pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Scott Everhart is going to be the hitter. So we have the built-in punt here as the 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. So Scott Everhart is the hitter. Right-handed batter has a count of 2 balls and no strikes. Runners at first and second. Stretch by Curtis and the pitch called strike outside corner. 14-0 is your score in favor of Newton County. Sam Allen gives the sign to his pitcher. Allen started the game at third base but moved behind the plate as Everhart takes that one on the inside corner for a called strike, 2-2. Runners at first and second, both of them reaching base on balls. Curtis hoping to strand these runners there. The 2-2 pitch is outside, 3-2. Allen and Hires both holding the runner close at second. That's Shane Hendricks, number 8 batter for Loganville. The number 9 batter is at first. That's Wesley Smith. Cale Curtis with the stretch. And the pitch, swung on and missed. And down on strikes goes Scott Everhart. So with 2 outs, here comes John Jordan, first baseman for Loganville. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. He struck out in the third. Got another defensive change to tell you about. Trent Alexander has gone in to play second base in place of Ryan Allen. So plenty of defensive changes for the Rams. Curtis with the stretch. And his first pitch to Jordan is a called strike outside corner, 0-1. The only 3 position players still in the same spot this inning from last, Matthew Hires at short, Chris Acox in center, and Lance Shannon, who is still in right. At battling the sun, we might say. 0-1 pitch is high, 1-1. Hendricks at second and Smith at first with 2 outs. here in the 5th inning. Count of 1 ball and 1 strike. It's good for Cale Curtis to get some work in early on in the season. Coach Beverly will need him when the sub-region schedule starts on March 21st. Sam Allen gives the sign. Here's the stretch. The 1-1 pitch swung on the line down the first base line. Foul ball. Trickles off into the trees behind the storage shed back there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Curtis 1 strike away from getting out of this 5th inning jam, 1st and 2nd. He's settled down to strike out the last 2 hitters he's faced, looking for number 3. The sign, the stretch, and the pitch. Curveball, but it stayed high, 2-2. He started that curveball over the batter's head. Unfortunately, did not have enough break to come back into the strike zone, so it's 2-2. Jordan takes his practice cut, set to go. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung, just got a piece of it. Fouled back to the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Loganville really hasn't played all that bad, with the exception of the bottom half of the 2nd inning. The Rams have scored 2 other runs on 1 hit. Lots of walks are what led to those Newton County runs. In the 1st inning, also in the 2nd inning, where the Rams put 9 hits and 12 runs on the board. Stretched by Curtis and the 2-2 pitch. Fastball high and outside, 3-2. Curtis put a little extra something behind that one, hoping to get that strike 3 and get out of this 5th inning. Matt Jenkins on deck, not the type of person you'd want to mess with the bases loaded. The stretch from Curtis, the payoff pitch, swung on and missed. And Cale Curtis, with a tremendous performance after giving up walks to the first 2 batters he faces, strikes out the next 3. And so after 4.5 innings of play, your score is Newton County 14, Loganville nothing. And because of the 10-run rule here in the South Metro Tournament, that'll do it for this ball game. Newton County wins this game by a final score of 14-0. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this break. You're listening to exciting Newton County Rams baseball here on WGFS AM 1430. We'll be right back. County with a score of 14-0. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up for you right now. Your final totals in the game. Newton County has 14 runs on 10 hits, and for Loganville, no runs on a total of 4 hits. For Newton County, picking up the win in this game is Lance Coffin, who pitched 2 innings, and Newton County giving him tremendous run support with 12 runs in the bottom half of inning number 2. Matt Taylor pitched the 3rd inning. Richie Cleary pitching the 4th. And pitching the 5th inning was Cale Curtis. We got to mention a little something about Cale Curtis's performance, walking the first 2 batters he faced, but settling down to strike out 3 in a row. Folks up here at Newton County High School happy to see it, because Cale Curtis is one of those folks who's going to be needed in the pitching staff in 1994. So Newton County goes to 1-0 on the 1994 season, and their next game will be against Mount Zion on Tuesday, March the 1st, 4 o'clock p.m., right here at Riverside Park. Come on out and watch the Rams in action, or you can listen to the game live here on WGFS AM 1430. For executive producer Brad DePriest, this is Kevin Holden from Riverside Park. Again, your final score, 14-0. So long, everybody.